Okay, welcome back. Semester 2, here we get going, and this is real world math, okay, where we can use maps. If you remember back in middle school, scale up, scale it down. Just like the photos on your phone, you can pinch them and make them bigger, smaller, but they always stay in proportion. Always stay in proportion, okay? And the idea of a scale factor. How much bigger? How much smaller? That's the math piece, okay? But when we do it, everything stays in proportion, okay? So, proportion, as we make it bigger and smaller, that's called a dilation, and we either make it bigger or smaller. It's called similarity, and you don't have a textbook now, so you'll wait until we get that, okay? All right, so in our warm-up, we're going to talk about what it means to make bigger and make it smaller. So we're just going to draw a couple of triangles here, or humans. Let's do a human, okay? So I got this human, right? And let's say he's 4 feet tall. We want to make him 6 feet tall. Everything is going to be a little bit bigger. Well, how much bigger? It's all in relationship to the proportion. Okay, so 6 over 4, 3 over 2, or 1.5. Okay, and during the next couple of weeks, we're going to talk about 1 to 1.5. If we went this way, bigger, or if we go the other direction, okay, it would be 1 point, locked myself up, okay, so we'll go the other direction, and it would go backwards, right, from 1.5 to 1, getting smaller by 50%, okay, so if we went this direction, we would write 4 over 6, okay, 2 over 3, or 0.66 the size. All right, cool. So we're going to dilate. We're going to keep everything similar. Everything is in proportion, okay? So some of the math that we're going to have to do, that's all right, proportions. But before we get started, let's actually do a problem on the map, okay? So I picked 3 places on the map, okay? And we're going to have Spokane, Mumbai, India, Rio de Janeiro. We're going to Google it, okay? So if we Google all that, we're going to find out that it's 7,777 miles from Spokane to Mumbai, India. 6688. 6,688 miles from Spokane to Rio de Janeiro, and 8,330 miles from Rio de Janeiro to Mumbai, India. But on a map, we can't draw it that way. We have to scale it down. Okay, so first vocab word, scale factor. Okay, what is the scale factor? Well, I looked at these 3 measurements and I thought, let's just divide by 2,000. I just did 2,000. So I'm going to go 1 to 2,000. Another way to read that is 1 over 2,000. So we divide everything by 2,000. Okay? So let's just write that in here. We're going to divide this by 2,000. We're going to divide this by 2,000, and we'll divide this by 2,000, okay? All right, so now we're going to draw these 2 triangles, okay? So the first one kind of looks like that, kind of looks like that, kind of looks like that. Now, as you know, when you draw the world, something round, and then we put it on a flat map, it distorts it, right? Okay, so it's not going to look to scale. All right, and we had what, 7777 7, 7, 7, 7, and here we had 6, 6, 8, 8, and over here 8, 3, 3, 0. We have a scale factor of 1 to 2,000 so that we can put it on a piece of paper like a road map, right? Scale factor. Okay, so we're going to divide everything. Okay, so if we go 7, 7, 7, 7 divided by 2,000, we're going to get 3.88. And we'll take 6, 6, 8, 8, and we divide by 2,000, and we get 3.34, and we divide 8330 by 2,000, and we're going to get 4.16. Okay, so now if we go to a sheet of paper and draw a similar triangle, our measurements are going to be 3.88 inches, 3.34 inches, and 4.16 inches. The key to success is the scale factor, okay? All the angles stay the same, okay? So this angle corresponds to this angle. This angle corresponds to that angle. And this angle corresponds to that angle. And they all have names, right? We had Spokane, Washington, Mumbai, India, and Rio de Janeiro. And we would do the same thing on our map. Everything is scaled down in proportion. So we're learning scale factor, all the angles stay the same, and how to draw something large on our paper. Okay, so we're going to do this in class. These are the three that I chose. Okay, scale factor, proportion. Well, now this idea of proportion, we've got to remind ourselves, how did we do that in middle school, that math piece? Okay, so let's just remind ourselves about proportions. Okay, all right, proportions. If I'm 2 and 1, and something we're drawing is 8 over what? 2 to 1 is 8 to 4. Now you see how easy that was? Because we know that 8 to 4 is the same proportion as 2 to 1, double the size. But do we remember if it's not so easy? What if we have a hard one? Like 3 to 2 is 9 to something. So let's remind ourselves how we do this. It's called cross multiply. Okay, cross multiply. 3 times something equals 2 times 9. So 3 times something is equal to 2 times 9. What's 2 times 9? 18. How do we undo a multiplication? What's the opposite of multiply? Divide. Divide. So the something is 6. All right? So this is the type of math we're going to be doing this week. 3 goes to 2 as 9 goes to 6. See that? Multiply by 3, multiply by 3. Okay? This had a scale factor of 1 to 3. All right. There, this week in our practice, okay, our solo mode, we do, then there's a couple of bonus, and then it's going to be you do, you do. All right, so I'll be back in the next video because this is going to be our practice for the week plus one session of Mathia. See you in a minute.